Okay, today we are starting with our next chapter, that is new chapter, second chapter, mechanical properties of fluid. Okay, so what do you mean by here? First of all, fluid. Okay, we'll see here later. First, we'll see what do you mean by actually a matter, because fluid is a phase of matter. Okay, so matter is actually the stuff that makes up the universe. Okay, or you will call the thing that takes up space and has mass is known as matter. Okay, so everything that takes space in the universe and it is having mass, that is there is the content of matter in it, so that is known as matter. Okay, everything, that is every object you are observing here, is nothing but matter. Okay, so there is actually three states of matter we already discussed, we already know here. So first is solid, second liquid, and third is gas. What do you mean by here solid? Solid is nothing but the object which is rigid. Okay, in the solid all the molecules are compactly arranged, they are very close. Interactive force between the molecule is, intermolecular force is very strong here. This solid is having definite shape and size, its volume is fixed, and molecules are very compactly arranged. Similarly here, if we observe for the liquid, the molecules of liquid as compared to solid are actually having some distance, that are not very close, they are just a closed one. Okay, this liquid actually takes the shape of the container. Okay, there is no definite shape of liquid, it takes always the shape of container in which it is kept. But the volume of the liquid is obviously fixed here. Okay, now next, third is gas. So gas molecules are very far away from one another, gas is not having any definite shape and volume. Okay, now next here, what do you mean by fluid now? So fluid is nothing but actually the substances that can flow. So the substances that can flow are called fluids. Okay, so here this fluid is nothing but actually a phase of matter. So this fluid actually includes liquid, gases and plasmas. So you can see here example liquid, any liquid you can consider here, now gas and plasma. So these are the examples of fluid here. Okay, now next, very general examples which we can observe here, these are the air, water, molten lava, then toothpaste. Then here one point is also written as a fluid is a substance that deforms continuously under the action of external force. What do you mean by deformation here? Shape and size of the fluid. Okay, so this fluid actually deforms continuously under the action of external force. So if external force is applied on the fluid, it will get deformed. Okay, there will be deformation in the fluid, and that deformation is actually permanent. For example, if we squeeze a toothpaste, so it will emerge out of the tube. Okay, so this is because this fluid is having a property of flow. Okay, it can flow actually, and when we apply external force here, it will get transformed, so it will be actually coming out of the tube. Okay, okay, next here, if we consider certain ideal type of fluid, what are the properties of ideal fluid? Okay, so this ideal fluid is actually incompressible. What do you mean by incompressible fluid? Means the density of the fluid is constant. So actually we consider fluid compressible fluid and incompressible fluid. Compressible fluid means the density is variable for the fluid. Okay, that is the density changes, and here for incompressible fluid density is constant. Actually in reality there is no existence of incompressible fluid, that is the thing like incompressible fluid is not existing in reality, because here there is density is not actually a constant one. Okay, but when we use the term incompressible fluid, That is actually we consider the change in the density with pressure is very small so that it can be neglected. So we consider it as incompressible fluid. Okay. Now next thing here is for ideal fluid, it flow irrotational. That is, its flow is smooth. Okay. No turbulences is observed in the flow. Okay, that is the smooth and regular flow we will observe for ideal fluid. It is non-viscous, means the fluid is flowing in between the layers of fluid there will be no internal friction. Okay, so that is known as non-viscous fluid. Now here its flow is steady, means velocity at every given point at given time will be constant. Okay, so when ideal fluid flows, its velocity will be constant at each point in time. Okay, so these are the properties of ideal fluid. Okay, now next here is what is the difference between solid and fluid. When we consider solid, we already studied one of the property of solid, that is shear stress, or you will call it as tangential stress. So this we already discussed in 11th standard. Hopefully you will remember it. Okay, shear stress means what we had considered there, we consider a cube and a tangential force is applied at the top of the cube so that this top face of the cube is shifted through a small displacement. So that is, there is a deformation. Okay, and this deformation is because of some certain tangential force, so that is known as shear stress or tangential stress. Okay, so solid mostly subjected to or can be subjected to normal or shear stress. Similarly, for normal stress you can consider either compressive stress or tensile stress. Okay, compressive means force is inward, tensile means force is outward, and these are the normal forces. Okay, now next here for the ideal fluid when we consider, okay, so in this case suppose we consider a certain given surface. This surface is having area dA. This surface is actually immersed in certain liquid or fluid which is at rest. So it is within the fluid at rest. So this fluid is actually exerting a normal force on this surface. Suppose we consider normal forces acting by the fluid from both sides on the surface is dF. Okay, so this is the force which will be acting from both sides. So the dF is the force which fluid is exerting on the surface kept within the fluid at rest. Okay, here when we consider general properties of fluid, okay, so actually fluid do not oppose deformation, they get permanently deformed. What do you mean by deformation? Deformation means change in shape and size. So when we are changing shape and size of the fluid, it is not opposing. There is no ability of the fluid to oppose the deformation. It will get deformed and that deformation will be permanent. That is, when we are applying external force, there will be change in shape and size, that is deformation will occur for the fluid and that deformation is permanent. Okay, for example, you can fill up the gas in the cylinder. Okay, you can compress the gas and fill in the cylinder. So it will actually occupy the volume of cylinder and it will take the shape of the cylinder. Okay, now fluid is having the ability to flow, right? Similarly here, this is having ability to take the shape of the container. Suppose we keep the fluid inside certain U-shaped tube, it will take the shape of the tube, and if we keep in the bucket, it will take the shape of the bucket. So likewise, it actually acquire or take the shape of the container. Okay, now here in this chapter, actually for the liquid mechanics we are considering two parts. One is hydrostatic and second one is fluid dynamics. Okay, so first part here we study as hydrostatic. What do you mean by hydrostatics? Hydra means water, statics means at rest. So it is the branch of physics which deals with the properties of fluid at rest. So we are studying actually the properties of fluid which will be at rest, and this study is known as hydrostatics. Okay, so here for hydrostatics, what are the explanation we can study here? Like why atmospheric pressure changes with the altitude, why would oil float on the water, why the surface of still water is always level. Okay, similarly in the second part we will study fluid dynamics, which is actually the study of fluid which is in motion. Okay, so first part we are starting, for that we are starting with the topic that is pressure. Okay, what do you mean by pressure here? As we already consider here, if the surface within the fluid at rest, here we consider maybe surface is vertical, maybe surface is horizontal. So the fluid will exert normal force from both side of the surface. So suppose we consider that force is F and the surface area here is A. So when we define the normal force exerted by the fluid at rest per unit surface area of the contact, it is called pressure of fluid. Okay, so this ratio force per unit area is known as pressure. You can consider this is the surface here, force is applied at this much of area of the surface. Suppose area is A and force is F, so P will be equal to F upon A, that is force per unit area. Okay, now when we consider certain sharp objects, so needle or anything like that, so that objects are actually very light objects, but this can exert high pressure on a small surface area, right? For example, hammering of nail is very easy and the nail has sharpened edge, so it can penetrate in the surface. Similarly, sharp edge scissor, saw or axe produces a large pressure on the surface. Similarly, if we consider needle, okay, so needles are having very sharp edge, so it will produce large pressure on the point of contact. Okay, example, suppose we consider certain amount, that is 10 Newton of force is acting on 1 centimeter square. As we know here, 10 Newton is certain value of the pressure, and area 1 centimeter square is actually very small surface area. Okay, so if that force is acting on a very small surface area, what about pressure here? So we already know here SI unit for the force is Newton, surface area centimeter square. We should convert it in SI unit as meter square. So 10 upon 1, you will convert centimeter square into meter square. 1 centimeter is actually 10 raised to minus 2 meter. So centimeter square will be 10 raised to minus 2 square, that is 10 raised to minus 4. 10 raised to minus 4, if shifted to numerator, it will become 10 raised to plus 4. So 10 raised to plus 4 into 10 will be 10 raised to 5. So pressure is 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. Now suppose similar force, that is 10 Newton, is applied on a very large area, that is 1 meter square. What about the pressure? So if we are defining here, P equal to F upon A, 10 upon 1, that is 10 Newton per meter square we are getting. So you can see for a very small area pressure is high, for the same amount of force for large area the pressure is low. So when the objects are having small weight and sharpened edge, that will exert a large pressure on the surface, right? Similarly here, when we talk about SI unit and dimension of pressure, so SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, as its formula is F upon A. F, that is Newton. A means meter square. So Newton per meter square, which is also known as Pascal. Notation is PA, capital P, small a. If you talk about dimension of pressure, you can determine the dimension, so no need to memorize directly, you will remember the formula, and from formula you will derive the dimension always. So Newton, that is having dimension as L1 m1 t minus 2. So how we are taking? Because F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. So for mass there will be m1, that is kilogram 1. For acceleration, meter per second square, so there will be L1 t minus 2. So for Newton it is L1 m1 t minus 2, that is ma, mass unit will be kilogram, a acceleration unit will be meter per second square. So kilogram meter per second square, for that dimension will be m1 L1 t minus 2, kilogram meter per second square. That is for force, that is for Newton. Area, that is A, so that is nothing but meter square, so you will write L2. After solving, we are getting L minus 1 m1 t minus 2. This is the dimension of pressure here. And pressure is actually a scalar quantity, right? Now here, there are different other units for the pressure. This you can use for the conversion in the some numerical examples. We can require it. You have to remember it. 1 bar equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. 1 hectopascal, that is 1 HPa, that is actually 100 pascal. Similarly, you can write it as 1 millibar. Okay. One more thing is here, torr. Okay. 1 torr equal to 133.32 pascal. Okay. And this is actually approximately 0.99 mm of Hg, that is atmospheric pressure. That is approximately 1 mm Hg. Okay. Similarly here, when we consider here next topic, that is pressure due to a liquid column. Okay. What is here? We consider a vessel, suppose a filled with a liquid is considered here. So we will consider certain imaginary cylinder of the liquid. Okay, we will mark certain cylindrical shape in the liquid. This is actually imaginary cylinder inside the liquid. Okay, this cylinder is having surface area, that is area of cross section as A. Mass, suppose, of this liquid column is m, and density of the liquid is rho. Height of this liquid column, suppose we consider as h. So we are taking height as h. What about now here forces acting on this imaginary cylinder? So there will be actually two forces, that is one force is vertically upward, that is actually upthrust from the bottom of the cylinder. So liquid will, that is the liquid below the cylinder, this liquid will exert a vertically upward force on the liquid column, and that force is known as thrust. And this liquid column is having certain weight which will be acting vertically downward. So there will be two equal and opposite forces which will be equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So thrust is equal to weight of liquid column, and weight is actually mg. M is nothing but mass, so mass will be actually, you already know, density equal to mass upon volume. So mass will be equal to density into volume. So here mass is equal to density, that is rho, volume capital V. Volume of this liquid column, because it is having cylindrical shape, volume will be A into H, that is area of cross section into height. So you can put here the formula, force equal to mg, which is equal to, m is nothing but rho AH g as it is. M is rho, volume will be AH, so it is rho AH. So pressure will be F upon A, mg upon A. So you will put mg value as rho AHG divided by A. You can cancel A and A here. So we are getting pressure H rho G. Height of liquid column, density of liquid, gravitational acceleration. So pressure due to a liquid column can be written as H rho G. Okay, this is the formula. Question can be asked to derive expression for pressure of liquid column. Okay, now here next here is atmospheric pressure. Okay, so what do you mean by atmospheric pressure? So atmospheric pressure is nothing but pressure exerted by the atmosphere. So it is known as atmospheric pressure. So earth atmosphere exert downward force due to its weight. Okay, so earth atmosphere, that is surrounding of earth, exerts a force due to the weight of this surrounding, so that is known as atmospheric pressure. The force exerted by air column on unit area of the earth is equal to atmospheric pressure. Just like we consider imaginary cylinder for the liquid, we can consider imaginary cylinder for air, for the atmosphere of the earth. So that is known as air column. For this air column, if we consider force exerted by the air column on the unit area of the earth, that is nothing but atmospheric pressure. So the atmospheric pressure at sea level is called normal atmospheric pressure. Okay, now here atmospheric pressure at the high altitude is low, at the low altitude is high. And if we consider density, density is actually decreases with increase in height. So the density of air in the atmosphere decreases with the height. So at the point beyond the 8 kilometer from sea level, the density becomes negligible. Okay, so we can consider height of this this air column as 8 kilometers. Okay, so similarly here, the region where gas pressure is very less or less than atmospheric pressure, that is known as volume, vacuum. That is the region above the air column here will be known as vacuum, because the pressure due to the pressure here will be very less as compared to atmospheric pressure. So that is known as vacuum. So perfect or absolute vacuum means what? There is no matter, no molecule, not presence of anything there, that is absence of medium, that is known as absolute vacuum or perfect vacuum. But mostly we consider vacuum means condition when the pressure is very less as compared to atmospheric pressure. Okay, now here suppose on this formula numerical can be asked to you. So one numerical example is given in your textbook. A swimmer is swimming in a swimming pool at 6 meters below the surface of water. Calculate the pressure on the swimmer due to water above. So the density of water is given to you, that is 1000 kilogram per meter cube, and gravitational acceleration 9.8 meter per second square. What is given here? That is swimming at 6 meter below the water. Okay, means height here is given as 6 meter. Density of liquid of water, that is rho equal to 1000 kilogram per meter cube. G equal to 9.8 meter per second square. We already know the formula. Pressure of liquid column, that is P equal to H rho G. H means 6, rho 1000, G 9.8. You can multiply 6 into 9.8, that is 58.8 into 1000. Okay, and this is nothing but actually, if you can write it as 58.8 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter square, or you can write it as 5.88 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per meter square. Okay, so this is the numerical example just to see how you will apply your formula which we just studied here. Okay, Okay, next topics we will consider in next lecture, that is pressure, absolute pressure, atmospheric pressure and pressure gauge. Okay, thank you.